want you to just allow yourself to come into this space. Taking 3 deep sighs to bring yourself into the space and feel grounded and centered. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Deep inhale. Exhale out. One more. Inhale. Exhale, side out. And just becoming aware of yourself seated on the ground. Feeling both of your sit bones pressing into the earth. Feel the weight of the legs. Feel yourself grounding down into the earth. Feeling stable and protected and balanced and held by this earth. So I'm going to teach you a meditation called heart coherence. This is a really beautiful meditation that brings us into our heart space and allows us to set an intention and then sends that out into the world with love. I'm using a tuning fork set to the heart frequency to help bring you into your heart space. So just follow the sound. So I want you to become aware of your breath. And begin to feel your breath in the center of your chest. So becoming aware of your heart moving as you breathe in. You may wish to place your hand at your heart space. Just feel as you breathe in, the heart expanding. And as you exhale, the heart drawing back in. Now as you breathe in, I want you to picture a light, either a pink or a green light at your heart space. Whatever resonates for you. So beginning to breathe in that pink or green light, and then exhale. Inhaling, visualizing the light, let it become a little bit bigger, and then exhale out. One more, inhale, the light becomes a little bit bigger, and exhale out. Now I want you to picture in your mind's eye someone or something that makes you truly happy, that you truly love. It may be an animal that you're really connected to. It may be a person, it may be some beautiful memory, maybe a food that you love. Whatever it is, it's yours. So I want you to picture with as much detail as possible that thing, that person, that object that brings you joy and makes you feel loved. So just picturing that in your mind's eye. With as much detail as possible. Begin to breathe into the heart while picturing this image. Beginning to feel a sensation of feeling loved and feeling cared for and feeling safe. With each breath, allowing your heart to expand that little bit more. Now allowing this feeling of love and connection to expand down into the belly as you breathe in. And allowing this feeling to spread out throughout the whole chest and the back of the body. And drawing this feeling down the arms, down the hands to the fingertips. Feeling that sensation of feeling loved and connected and warm. And taking this sensation down the legs, down the ankles, to the feet, to the toes. Feeling loved and connected and warm. And taking this sensation up to the top of the head, up to the crown. And feeling your whole body feeling loved and connected and warm. Perhaps feeling a slight warmth or a buzzing sensation. Now, as you exhale, I want you to send this energy out with the intention to send out love and connection and warmth. On your exhale, sending that love and connection and warmth out to the world. And then bringing your attention back to your heart space. And I want you to ask yourself what you need in this moment. Or more importantly, how can you serve? What can you do for others? And I invite you to bring this in as your intention for your practice. How can I serve? How can I let my heart shine? Becoming aware of your breath, becoming aware of your heart rate, feeling yourself sitting on the earth, coming back into the space. When you're ready, gently opening your eyes. We're going to make our way down to the mat, lying on our back, bringing your strap or your belt with you. Once you're there, squeezing your knees in towards your chest. inhale. As you exhale, draw the knees in towards the chest. Inhale to release. Exhale, draw the knees in. Inhale. Exhale, draw down. Place your hands on your knees, bring your big toes to touch, and you're going to circle your knees out and away from you like you're swimming like a frog. So just waking up the hips. And then beginning to circle in the other direction. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Taking the strap and hooking it over the right foot, the ball of the right foot, so extending the right foot towards the sky. Either keeping the left knee bent and the foot flat, or extending that leg and drawing the toes towards you. Make sure your elbows are resting on the ground, your shoulders are relaxed. Extend your heel a little higher, feeling that stretch. Taking a moment to think of your intention for the class. How can I serve? And then beginning to point and stretch. Inhale to point, exhale to draw the toes back. Beginning to circle gently in one direction. And then circle in the other way. Taking care to just move only the ankle and not the whole leg. We're isolating the movement at the ankle. Take both straps into your left hand. Extend your right arm along the ground. Extend your left leg long, and then allow the right leg to twist across the body. Either look towards the ceiling or look back towards your right hand if it feels comfortable. Inhale to extend, exhale to come into the twist. Draw that leg up into center, keep hold of the leg. I want you to bend your left knee, place your foot flat on the ground and allow the leg to fall out to the side. And then draw your right leg down. So you want to keep your hips square. You don't want one leg to be higher than the other. So your thighs are at the same height. And using your strap to help. Only go as far as comfortable for you. So you don't want to just let the leg flop down, you want to keep active in this right leg. Feeling that gentle stretch. And then coming back to the center, keeping the left knee bent where it is. Take the right foot and hook the right foot in front of the left knee, coming into a four pose, thread the needle stretch. Reach through for either the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. And beginning to draw your toes towards you, and then away. Draw the toes towards you, and then relax. One more, draw the toes, hold, and release. And then unhook that foot, and then we're going to bring our left leg into the strap. So hooking the strap over the left ball of the foot. Either keep the right knee bent and the foot flat, or extend that leg and draw the toes towards you. Keep the elbows on the ground, relax the shoulders. Draw that heel towards you. Think of your intention. How can I lead with my heart? Then beginning to point and flex. Inhale to point, exhale to draw back. Inhale, exhale. Slowly circling the ankle and circling in the other direction. taking both straps into your right hand this time. Extend your right leg, extend your left arm along the ground, shoulder blade pressing down, and then allow the left leg to twist across the body. Either look towards the ceiling or look back towards your hand. Inhale to extend, exhale to come into the twist. Then draw that leg up to center. Bend your right knee, place the foot flat on the ground, and allow the leg to fall out towards the side so it becomes heavy. Extend your left leg and then draw it out towards the side. So we're using this right leg to kind of anchor the hips so that the hips don't just roll over to one side. So we're keeping the hips square and keeping active in the left leg. Drawing the toes towards you. Draw that leg up into center. Now keeping the right knee bent, bring the left foot in front of the right knee, hook that foot in front, coming into the four pose or thread the needle stretch. Either reach behind for the back of the thigh or the front of the shin and hold. Keeping your head on the ground. Draw your toes towards you and release. Draw the toes and release. One more and release. And then unhooking that foot, bringing both knees into the chest, keeping them together, circling both knees, massaging the lower back. And then circling in the opposite direction. Getting ready for our core work, extending the legs towards the sky, bending at the knees and bringing your feet into 90 degrees parallel to the floor. Looking towards the belly as you peel your head, neck and shoulders off the ground, fingertips forwards, palms facing each other. If that's too strong on your neck, place your hands behind your head and hold. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. As you exhale, draw the belly towards the spine. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, belly towards the spine. Inhale, expand the side and back of the ribs. Exhale, belly towards the spine. Release your head back down. Cross your legs over at the ankles. Place your hands just below the knees. And then if it feels good for you, rocking up and down the body till you come over into a 4-point position. So this is your wrists beneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips. Now, if you have any discomfort in your wrists, you can bring your hands a little bit further forward, so it takes a little bit of the weight off your hands here. So coming into our cat-cow, so we inhale, chest comes forward, the shoulder blades come back down the body. Exhale, push away from the floor as you look towards the belly and curve the back towards the sky. Inhale, bring the chest forward, shoulder blades come down the back of the body. Exhale, push away from the floor, look towards the belly, arch the back towards the sky. Inhale, chest comes forward, look up. Exhale, push away, arch the back. Using the breath, inhale, looking up. Exhale, drawing in. A couple more in your own time. Just slowly waking up the body. And then working whichever way feels good. You might want to do circles, you might want to come back on your heels, you might want to do little shakes. Whatever feels good for your body in this moment. And then hold. Draw your belly towards the spine. Extend your right leg behind you. Raise it up just to hip height, so not any higher. Draw your toes towards you. Raise your left hand, palm facing towards you, and hold. Draw the belly in, and release down. And the opposite side. Extend the left leg behind you. Raise that left leg, not too high. Extend the right arm, palm facing forward. And hold. Draw the belly in. And down. One more each side. Extend the right leg and the left hand. Draw the belly in. And down. Extend the left leg. Right arm. Draw the belly in. Stay strong in the core. And down. Bring the big toes to touch. Bring your knees out as wide as the mat and then sit back on your heels, either resting your head fist on top of fist or resting your head on the ground. This is child's pose. You can come into this pose at any time during class if you feel like you need a little bit of a rest or your heart's pumping too hard or it's difficult to catch your breath. Come into child's and allow yourself to feel centered and grounded. Breathing in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. In, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. So from here, beginning to bring the weight on the hands, uncurl the toes at the back, sit back and coming up into your first downward dog. Gently pedaling out the feet. So we're just working down, one ankle down to the ground at a time. Just slowly stretching the hamstrings. Then come up high on the toes and then lower both feet down. Push your hands firmly into the mat, all fingers pressing into the mat. Rotate the armpits towards each other. Slight bend in the knees, raising the tailbone towards the sky, looking between your feet. Downward dog. From here, come down on your knees. I'm going to show you the next part. This is going to be convoluted dog. And I'll guide you through because it might be still quite new for everyone. So, we come into downward dog. What you do is you bend your knees, you bring your weight forward into plank, push your hands away from the floor to raise the tailbone up towards the sky. You bend the knees, come forward, push the hands away to raise the tailbone up. Bend, come forward, away. So I invite you to come and join me in downward dog and we'll do it together. So coming back into your downward dog. Hands firmly into the mat, slight bend in the knees, tailbone towards the sky. So bend the knees, bring the weight forward over the hands, push your hands away as you push your tailbone towards the sky. Bend the knees, come forward, push your tailbone towards the sky as you come back into downward dog. Keep going, bend, come forward, tailbone towards the sky. Inhale, bend, come forward, tailbone towards the sky and hold. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So we come up on the toes, come forward into plank, bend the knees, push the tailbone back up, forward into plank, bend the knees, push your hands to push the tailbone back up towards the sky, forward into plank, bend the knees and hold in downward dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet and hang in a forward fold, keeping the knees bent. Grasp your elbows and let the head and neck hang low. Relaxing, releasing tension. Slight nod of the head for yes, slight shake of the head for no. Just releasing the neck muscles. Grasp the opposite elbows and feel the stretch across the back of the shoulders. Place your hands just below the shins and looking up, half lift, shoulder blades back, creating extension along the spine, and then forward fold, knees bend. Doing that again, looking up, half lift, shoulder blades back, exhale, fold. One more, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back, exhale, fold. Keep your knees bent. Push your feet into the earth to allow your body to roll up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Head is the last to come up. Arms rise. Look towards the hands and then melt down through the center of the body. Walk your hands out and come into plank and hold. Wrists beneath the shoulders. Push your heels out. Pull the belly towards the spine. If this is too strong for you, lower your knees and rest here. Everyone now coming down to the ground. So bringing your belly down to the ground. Bring your elbows just in front of your shoulders. Push your forearms into the floor and lift the chest. Sphinx. And then bring your head back down. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders. Curl the toes at the back. Push back into downward dog. Walk your hands back and forward fold, knees bent. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. Keep your knees bent. Push your feet into the earth to roll up through the vertebra, one vertebra at a time. Head is the last to come up. Arms rise. Look towards the top and then melt down through the center of the body. Walk your hands out, coming into plank or knees on the floor. Whatever feels good for you. Coming down to the ground again. Lower the belly down. Bring your elbows just in front of your shoulders. Push your forearms into the earth. Lift the chest. Sphinx. Rest your head down. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Curl the toes at the back. Push back into downward dog. Walk your hands back. Forward fold, knees bent. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Push your feet into the earth to roll up through the spine. Arms rise. Look towards the hands. Melt down towards the ground. Walk your hands out into either plank or 4-point pose. If you're in plank, follow me. Lower the knees, raise the toes. This is another option for you to go to the ground. We're going to go into upward dog. So here we bring our elbow towards our ribs and no further. So as you lower down, the elbows brush the ribs. You're going to push the top of the feet into the mat to raise the legs off the mat and open up through the shoulders. Then push back into downward dog and hold. Breathe in, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front of the mat as you step towards the front. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing your eyes. How are we all going? Just catching your breath. Feeling yourself connected to the earth. Feeling your feet on the mat. Surya Namaskara A. Gently opening the eyes. Make sure your feet are hip width apart. Hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades go back. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog. Come forward into plank. Lower the knees, raise the toes. You have the option here to go down to the ground in Sphinx, which I showed you, or upward dog, which is where you bring your elbows to your ribs. I'm going to go into upward dog. So from here, my elbows brush the ribs. I bring the top of the feet down to connect with the mat. I push my hands into the earth to open up through the chest. And then push back into downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to go through that 2 more times. So it becomes part of your muscle memory, and ideally you begin to do sun salutations when you wake up in the morning, because it's a really, really beautiful series, a really beautiful pose to start your morning with. Starting with your hands at the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold, step back into plank. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs, push into the earth, upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Look towards the front of the mat as you step towards the front. And exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more. This time, I'm going to guide you with the breath. Hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold, step back into plank. Lower down, raise the knees, elbows brush the ribs, push up into upward dog. Inhale. Exhale, back, downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine, come up on the toes. Look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. Becoming aware of your breath. Becoming aware of your heart rate. Feeling yourself connected to the ground. For this, we start in chair pose. So we bring our thighs, we squeeze our thighs in, and we're going to sweep down and sit back like we're sitting in a chair. So I bring my hips back, I crease at the hips here and sit back like I'm sitting in a chair. I want to make sure that my tailbone isn't sticking up. So I just allow the tailbone to drop down towards the ground. And then I raise the arms up, rotating the little fingers in towards each other. Weight is on the heels so that I can raise the toes. From here, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Step back into plank and hold. Lower to the ground. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs, push up into upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Raise the right leg. Draw the knee towards the chest. Pull the belly towards the spine. Remember the cat-cow movement where we arched our back. Bring your weight forward and then lightly step that foot in between the hands. Hold. Squeeze your right thigh towards you. as you raise your right arm towards the ceiling, opening up that shoulder. And then circle that hand back down. Pivot on your back foot, coming up into Warrior One. Front knees at 90 degrees, back foot is at 45 degrees. Hips are squaring off towards the front. And then bring the hands down, open out into Warrior Two. Front knee 90 degrees, back knee at 90 degrees. Pivot on the back foot to come into a high lunge. And then bring your hands down the back of the body, clasp the hands, draw the shoulder blades down. Lift the sternum slightly, keep that bend in the front knee. Slight balance here. Push your back heel towards the ground. Allow the tailbone to draw down towards the ground, feeling that stretch. See if you can challenge your balance here. Gently come down towards the ground into a low lunge. So your knee comes down to the ground. You can extend that, bring that front foot a little bit further in front and hold. And then cartwheel both hands. Pick up that front foot. Bring it back down into downward dog. And you have the option here to hold in downward dog or go for a flow. So that means to come forward into plank. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs, inhaling into upward dog. Exhaling back into downward dog. Then we're going to go on the other side. So raising your left leg. Bring the knee towards the chest, pull the belly towards the spine, arch the back like a cat, and then gently placing that foot in between the hands and hold. Squeeze your left knee in towards the chest as you open up the left arm. And then circle that hand down. Coming up into Warrior One, pivoting on the back foot till it comes to 45 degrees, front knee 90 degrees. Turning your hips towards the front, arms raised. Feel like you're stretching the mat with your legs. Opening out into Warrior Two, back foot at 90 degrees, front knee at 90 degrees. Pivoting on the back foot to come into a high lunge. Draw your hands down the back of the body. Take a clasp of the opposite fingers than you had before and draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body. Slightly lifting the sternum. This is a slight heart opener. Let your tailbone relax down towards the ground. Feel the strength in the legs. Push your back heel towards the ground. If you can, lowering that back knee to come into a low lunge, and then bringing your front foot a little bit further forward. If you need, you can bring your hands onto that knee. Cartwheel both hands down. Raise that front foot up. Bring it back down in downward dog. Either holding downward dog or go through a flow, which is to lower the knees, raise the toes, elbows brush the ribs, coming up into upward dog. Listen to your body. You can also rest in child's here. From downward dog, inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now that was an extended Surya Namaskar B. We'll actually go through a proper Surya Namaskar B in the next class. But for now, I'll just continue with this flow. Just extending it a tiny bit further. Starting with your hands at the heart, draw the thighs together, starting in chair pose. So sweep the hands down, sit back in your chair. Raise the toes so you know that your weight is on your heels. Rotate the little fingers towards each other. Sit a little bit deeper. And then forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold, step back into plank. Lower to the ground, raise the knees. Elbows brush the ribs. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back into downward dog. Raise the right leg. Bring the knee towards the chest. Step the foot in between the hands. This time coming straight up into warrior one. Back foot 45, front knee 90 degrees. Open up into warrior two. Back foot at 90 degrees, front knee at 90 degrees. Pivot on your back foot to come into high lunge. Draw the hands down the back of the body, opening up through the chest. Slight lift of the sternum, tailbone towards the ground, drawing in through the core. Lower the back knee towards the ground. You might want to bring your front leg a little bit further forward. And then bring your hands around in front to the heart. From here, staying where you are, we're going to come into a gentle twist. So bringing your body across to the right hand side, hooking your elbow in front of the knee. And then if you can, keeping your hands in prayer position, beginning to draw your hands towards the center of the chest, pushing your elbow against that knee. If you feel okay here and you want to go further, you can curl the back toe and extend that leg to come into a stronger pose. And then lowering that knee down, bringing both hands either side of the foot, raise that foot up, draw it back down, either holding in downward dog or going through a flow, whatever feels good for you. And then inhale, bend the knees, exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, forward. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Going on the other side. Squeeze the thighs together, starting in our chair pose. Sit back in your chair. Weight on the heels, rotate the little fingers towards each other. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold. Step back into plank. Lower the knees, raise the toes. Elbows brush the ribs, push up into upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Raising the left leg. Bring the knee towards the chest. Pull the belly towards the spine. Bring the weight forward and then step that foot between the hands, coming up into warrior one. Back foot at 45 degrees, front knee at 90 degrees. And hold. Feel as if you're stretching the mat with your legs. Strengthen the legs. Cross the arms, open out, warrior two. Feel like you can reach both sides of the rooms. Pivot on your back foot, coming up into high lunge. Bring the hands down the back of the body. Take the opposite clasp and draw the shoulders down the back of the body. Keep that bend in the front knee, draw in through the core. Tailbone down towards the ground. Push out through your heel. Sternum slightly raised. Lower the knee down. You might want to bring that front leg a little bit further forward. Bring the hands in front into prayer. Twisting towards the left, hooking your right elbow in front of your left knee, and then coming into your prayer position. These twists make positions quite hard when I'm teaching live, but it's all good. So pushing your hands, palms against each other, beginning to bring your palms towards the center of the chest by pushing your elbow into your knee. And then framing the front foot with both hands, raise that foot up, bring it back down into downward dog. Option to hold in downward dog, rest in child's, or go through a flow, whatever feels good for you. So everyone coming back to downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, pull the belly towards the spine. Inhale, look towards the front as you step towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Gently closing the eyes. Whew. Catch your breath. This is a beginner's class, but we're working up a little bit of the sweat, which is good. Opening your eyes, picking up your right leg and stepping out to the side. Coming into our wide stance. Pigeon toeing the feet, so that means we're drawing our toes towards the center, so there's parallel lines on the outside angles of the feet. Have your feet as wide as you need. You can have a slight bend in the knees here. Placing your hands on your hips. Inhale, slightly lift the sternum. Exhale, fold, fold. Come to your fingertips. Inhale, look up, bend the knees. Exhale, fold. One more, look up, bend the knees, come up onto fingertips. Exhale, fold. And then walking your hands between your feet, wherever feels comfortable. Placing your hands on your hips. Use the strength of your legs to come back up to standing. And then gently making your way towards the top of the mat. We're going to come into a squat. So bringing your feet out as wide as the mat. And you're going to sit back into a squat. Now, you might have issues with your balance, so you can put a block underneath your feet. You can even roll the mat underneath you if you want, just for a little bit of extra support. And when you've found a position, I want you to bring your hands to your heart. Push your elbows against your knees and use that to help you balance. And you can try close your eyes, feeling that gentle stretch. Draw your tailbone down towards the ground. Slightly lift the sternum. And then releasing that, we're going to come into a forward fold. So placing your hands on the earth and gently stretching the legs, keeping them slightly bent, and then tipping over forward. You might want to place your hands behind the ankles or just keep them on the ground somewhere. And then gently standing up, keep the knees bent, push your feet into the earth. So roll up through the body. Coming up to standing, bringing the hands to the heart. Coming into a brief standing meditation. Walking to the top of the mat, feet hip width apart. Closing your eyes. Becoming aware of the weight of your feet. Perhaps rocking forward and backward. Feeling that point of grounding and point of balance. Slight bend in the knees to allow the tailbone to drop down towards the ground. Roll the shoulders up and back. Release the fingertips down, slight energy in the fingertips. Imagine you've got a piece of string holding up the top of the head, slightly tuck the chin down. Tadasana. And then gently opening your eyes. We're going to come into a balance before coming down to the ground. So bringing your weight onto your left leg. We're coming into tree. So you can either start with your foot. I want you to first turn your foot out and bring it up and come up onto the ball of the foot. So you've opened up this hip here. This might be as far as you want to go. You can also use a wall if you want for balance. So the options here are to either bring your foot to the inside of this calf here or up to the inside of the thigh here. And pull your knee away from you. Sometimes balances work, sometimes they don't. And bring your hands to the heart. So I don't want your foot on your knee because that's really bad if you start to fall. You can really hurt your knee. So remember, you can have your foot down here and that's perfectly okay. So begin to open out the hips. They should feel nice and open after all the stretches we've done. Bring your hands to your heart. Raising the hands above the head. And opening them out. Like you're a tree, you can even wriggle the fingers a little. Bring the hands back through the center, back to the heart. If you want, you can test yourself and close your eyes to see how your balance is before you bring that foot down. Give the legs a little shake. We'll go on the other side. Tree is such a beautiful balance, a really, really good place to start with balances. Bringing the weight on the right leg. So I want to make sure I'm not just hanging out in this hip, I've actually pulling in my buttock to create stability in that leg. So open out the left hip, bringing the ball of the left foot to the ground. This might be as far as you want. Remember, you can balance on a wall if you want. Always listen to your body. So we either have the foot against the inside of the calf or up against the inside of the thigh. You might want to keep your hands here for balance and support. You just don't want your foot against your knee. If you feel balanced and secure, draw your knees back to open up the hip. Draw your knee back to open the hip. Bring your hands to the heart. Push into your standing leg. And then beginning to rise the hands up. Looking at something that's not moving. You can begin to wriggle those fingers out. You're a tree. Just rustling in the wind. Draw the hands back through the center. Back down to the heart. You can close your eyes if you wish for a moment to test your balance. And then once you're there, giving the feet a bit of a shake. So we're going to come down to the ground, coming to the top of the mat, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look up. Exhale, fold, step back into downward dog. And then coming down to the ground, you can bring one foot in front of the other, kind of crossing your legs, and then gracefully sitting down. Coming into our forward fold. You can grab a strap for this. You can also sit on a block if you want to bring your hips up a little bit higher, because you don't want to be rounding your back when you lean forward. It's really not good for your back. So you can sit on a block if you've got one, or a blanket or a pillow or something. So we're going to do 3 rolls to get there. Remember, you can bend your knees as well. You can do whatever it takes so that you feel comfortable and you don't get injured during class. So we're starting with our hands beside our feet. Draw the hands along the ground, up through the body, as high as you can, and then roll forward. 2 more. Along the ground, up the body, reach up high, fold forward. 1 more, along the ground, up the body, reach up, and then forward fold. And resting wherever you rest. Draw your toes towards you. Draw your chest towards your toes, and you can relax your head and neck. You can use your inhale to extend and your exhale to step out just a titch. Inhale, extend, exhale, just lengthening that tiny bit more. And releasing your hands and coming off the brick if you are on one. We're going to make our way gently down to the ground. So make sure you're at the top of the mat and just gently lying back down. Just bending your knees and bringing them out as wide as the mat. Bring your arms out to the side, and we're just going to go into a gentle twist. So you might want to just windscreen wiper your knees from one side to the other. Or if you want to go further, you can draw your knees in towards the chest and then draw both knees over towards the side. Whatever feels good for you. So if you're windscreen wipering, just gently rock from one side to the other. And then resting on a side, you can either look towards the ceiling or look back towards the opposite hand. Then drawing those knees up, and then resting on the other side. Draw the knees up. Draw the knees into your chest, give them a squeeze, and circling both knees together to massage the lower back, and circling in the opposite direction. And then making sure you've got something nearby you to keep you warm during Shavasana rest. Releasing one leg out to the side, letting it go floppy, and the other leg out, let it go floppy. Rest your back of the arms on the ground. Shavasana. Allow yourself to tune into how you feel at the end of class. The twisting and turning. Becoming aware of your breath. Slowly becoming aware of the sound of my voice. Gently beginning to wriggle the fingers and the toes, allowing movement and sensation to slowly come back into your body. Taking breath into the belly, circling the ankles, circling the wrists, stretching your arms overhead, and then coming over to roll over on your right hand side, keeping your eyes closed. When you're ready, gently coming up into a seated position. Placing your hands on your knees. So at the start of this class, we started with a heart coherence meditation. So a very, very quick way of doing this, if you want to continue this practice, is place your hand on your heart, breathe into your heart for a few breaths, and then think of that thing, that person that you feel very loved and connected to and makes you feel warm when you think of them. And you just do that for a few moments. What that does is it slows your heart rate down and it brings you into a frequency similar to the earth frequency. And it just makes you more present and grounded. It's a really, really beautiful practice. So to seal our practice today, we're going to conclude with 3 Oms. So bringing your hands to your heart. And I invite you to think of a person that you know that is struggling. And there's quite a few at the moment. Lockdown is hard. Being in Melbourne is really hard right now. We all have our moments where we just break down and yeah, it's real. It's really real. So think of a person or perhaps an animal that you really care for, or a world event or something that you wish to send a little love to. So closing your eyes, inhale to begin. Bringing your hands to your forehead for clarity of thoughts. Bringing your fingers to your lips for clarity of speech. Bringing your hands to your heart for clarity of heart. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings have happiness and the causes for happiness. Thank you for joining me for this beautiful practice of yoga. Thank you to all my teachers before me. Namaste.